It's the Louie T Network.
In the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the program. You are in the lab room. Of course, I'm your host, Luke. Thank you for joining me. Week number 4 in the National Football League. Excuse the mess. Got a little bit of pixelation going on. This is all brand new to me. Starting a live feed, trying to be more economically sound with my time. And the best way to do that is through a live feed. So trying to work out the kinks. As you can see, haven't gotten everything ironed out yet. But trust me, in due time, I will. But ignore all of the extra stuff and focus on the product at hand, which is Bills at Texans. This is a big one. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed, because both of these teams right now are exceeding expectations going into the season, both coming into the game at 2-1. One of these teams, to me, is a fraud. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You probably already know. You already know who it is. But the other team, I feel like, has a legitimate shot at doing some things, and their division right now looks to be up for grabs. After seeing what we saw on Monday night, Chiefs and Patriots, you got to think to yourself, why not us? So this is a big one. This was one that if you're the Buffalo Bills, you need to get. And for the Texans, you want to bounce back after your first defeat of the season last week. Both of these teams suffered their first defeats last week. But for the Texans, against the Giants, who were winless at the time, that one kind of stung. You need to bounce back at home. So you're looking to get this one and get to 3-1 on the season. So let's break this game down. We go straight to the second quarter. Not a lot of fireworks starting this game out. And the Bills get on the board first with a 31-yard field goal. It's 3-0. You know my motto? You know my mantra. Field goals don't win games. Touchdowns do. And you kick a 31-yarder, that means you got pretty close. You got inside the red zone and you couldn't strike. Bills have to settle for 3. They're up 3-0 in this football game. The one and only DRE fumbles the football, a rare occurrence for the future Hall of Famer as he puts it on the carpet. Bills recover in Texans territory, and it leads to a Samuel Watkins 5-yard. That boy's good. Give it up for Mr. Sammy Watkins. 5-yard touchdown. It's 10-0. Bills up in this game. Uh-oh. Buffalo Bills trying to make some noise on the road, 10-0. Then, I talked about this earlier in the season. I talked about this before the season started. Ryan Fitzpatrick will share the football. He's a generous guy, and he'll give it up. All you got to do is ask. He'll give it up. And so, Ryan Fitzpatrick throws an interception to Leotis McKelvin. Then EJ, and this is the backbreaker here. This was a game that could have easily gotten out of hand if E.J. Manuel could be accurate with the football. E.J. Manuel misses a wide open Samuel Watkins. This is a walk-in touchdown, folks. If he hits him in stride, Samuel is gliding into the end zone. We're talking 17-0. I don't think the Texans are recovering from 17-0. Maybe the Texans of 2012 might be able to do that. Not the Texans of 2014 led by Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're not coming back from a 17-bagel deficit. But the Bills could not capitalize. They get no points on the possession. It's still 10-0. And Ryan Fitzpatrick said, hey, if you don't want the touchdown, if you don't want the deep touchdown, I'll take it. I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. Thanks. And so Ryan Fitzpatrick finds D-Hop on a 35-yard touchdown right before the half, cuts that Bills lead from 10-0 to 10-7. And all of that momentum that the Bills had built in the first half, just like that, gone in the blink of an eye. And that's what missing on one completion can do to your football team. It can take you from all the way here to down here. You went from dominating the first half of football to now clinging to a 3-point lead as we enter the halftime break. You come into the second half. Fitz has a very, very generous offering to give to the Buffalo Bills, and I talked about this already. He's a guy that you can't win with because there's good fits and then there's bad fits. And the good fits, man, he can control the football game. He'll hand it off. He'll go play action fake. He'll even scramble for you on 3rd and 6, pick up 7, and move the sticks. He'll do it all. But the bad fits, that other guy, the alter ego that you don't want to meet if you're a Texans fan, that guy, he's a bad guy. But not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. He's a bad guy, but he's also good. He'll give it away. He's a nice guy. Here, take it. I don't want the football. You have it. And very first throw of the second half, Fitzpatrick throws an interception. It's batted in the air. It's picked off by the Bills. And now they look to score. And if the Bills, let's just say they get a field goal here, go up 13-7, different ballgame. Imagine, though, if they were able to get 7, go up 17-7. Again, that could have been a huge quantum leap for them in this game. But instead, to me, what was the play of the game occurs next. 3rd down as E.J. Manuel is trying to get this Bills team into the end zone. Ball is absolutely snatched out of the air like a vulture coming down and getting its prey. Look, in E.J. Manuel's defense, 99.7% of the defensive linemen in this league do not, I repeat, do not make this play. Okay? Problem is the other 99, and again, that's only leaving 0.03% that would have made that play. J.J. Watt and maybe 1 or 2 other guys. Maybe Jason Pierre-Paul who can leap up and have that kind of coordination. Not many guys, though. Not many guys going to come down with that football. But the problem is there is 99.7% of the defensive linemen in the league knock that football down. And that's the problem. E.J. Manuel is 6'5", but yet he throws the football like he's 6'2". He's got a very low release point. A lot of his passes get batted down at the line of scrimmage. I have a problem with that when you're just as big, if not bigger, than most of your offensive line, yet you don't throw with a high release point. That was one of my knocks on E.J. Manuel coming out of college, and it's still nagging him in the NFL. Well, look, J.J. Watt is a one-of-a-kind specimen in this league. That was a special play. He snatches the football out of the air in one smooth, fluid motion. He really went to bat it down. But he said, hey, look what I found. I found the football. I'm gone. I'm going to the house with this one. This looks nice. I'm going to keep this one. And he takes off 80 yards the other way. That changed the game, folks. That changed this game. Texans take the lead 14-10. Never to relinquish it again in this football game. Texans tack on a field goal to end the 3rd quarter as they're now up a touchdown at 17-10. And you know what? Bullock, their field goal kicker. The Texans must be given credit for sticking with this kid. He struggled coming out of the gate early in his career, and now he's paying off huge dividends for this Texans. Because he drills a 55-yarder. That's a big boy field goal right there, if I may say so myself, to extend the lead out to 10 in this game, 20-10. Texans now feel like, hey, whew, we got a little bit of breathing space now. Not so fast. E.J. Manuel says, hey, we may go down, but we're not going down without a fight. As he fight, and if he could have done this earlier in the game to Samuel Watkins, we're talking about a different football game. But this time, he sees a wide open Mike Williams, and he does not miss. So he gets the football to Mike Williams. Slightly underthrown, but it doesn't matter. Williams is able to avoid a tackler and get in the end zone. It's now 20-17. Got ourselves a ball game, folks. Thought this one was over. You're wrong. Texans only up by 3. Then the Bills forced the Texans into another field goal attempt. It's 23, and this was a deep one again. Bullock paying off dividends for this Texans team. They had trust in him. They used a pick on him. They said, hey, this is an investment that we're willing to protect. They did. he's paying off dividends now. It's 23-17. Bills get one last final shot at winning this football game. E.J. Manuel airmails it to Daryl Morris, who I thought had a wonderful game for the Texans as a defensive back. He was all over the football field. Picks off the game, puts an exclamation point on this Texans victory as the Houston Texans survive at home versus Buffalo Bills. We're down as many as 10 points in this game early on, rally back and win 23-17. They go to 3-1 on the season. Bills drop to 2-2, drop their second consecutive game after starting season 2-0. Let's start with the Bills here because I think this game was the game that broke the camel's back. This was the straw that broke the camel's back right here because this was a winnable game. I don't think for 1 second that the Houston Texans are a better football team than you. And Doug Marrone, we know about the benching. We've all heard about the benching of E.J. Manuel. And do I agree with it necessarily? No, I don't. But I understand the logic here, and here's why. Doug Marrone is fighting for his job. You know, and I know a lot of you Bills fans probably don't want to hear that, but he's fighting for his job. Because with new ownership comes new everything. Everything is brand new. Okay? New coach. Hey, even Doug Whaley is on the hot seat. And I know some of you want Doug Whaley out there. Others might say, hey, Doug Whaley's doing an okay job, leave him alone. No, everything's new with the new ownership. Okay? New ownership brings new general manager, brings new head coach, brings turnover, brings change. And Doug Marrone understands that. And he understands the only way to cement his place in this organization is to have a division title or a playoff berth under his belt. And so he can say, hey, I've done something here that no one has been able to do since the 90s in Buffalo. Let's get to the postseason. So he's got to win. And the one thing he feels like right now that's holding him back is E.J. Manuel in the quarterback position. And I said this when he selected E.J. Manuel in that draft. I said, these two are now tied and married to each other. And what E.J. Manuel does will affect Doug Marrone greatly. And if E.J. Manuel doesn't get it done, Doug Marrone will be the sacrificial lamb. And so Doug Marrone is trying to separate himself from E.J. Manuel, but he can't. And it's okay to say, all right, Kyle Orton, even though you've only been here about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, come on in, man. You're going to be our new starting quarterback. And he's a veteran. You know, you expect him to come in and be able to help you, but this was a game. I understand. This was a game you should have won. You can stomach losing to the San Diego Chargers. They're a better football team than you. You can stomach that one. This one here hurts because this was a game you were up 10-0. This was a game that E.J. Manuel missed open receivers. Mainly that one to Samuel Watkins is the one that sticks out because if he connects there, it's 17-0. There's no doubt in my mind you win this football game. But because he missed that throw, and he throws the interception at the end, and he throws the interception to J.J. Watt. These are all mistakes that Marrone just can't live with. And so he decided to pull. And, you know, I just don't know if I agree with this move or not. But what do you feel like, Buffalo Bills fans? You watching at home, how do you feel about this move and this team moving forward? I don't know about this one, guys. I don't know if Kyle Orton is the answer or not. As for the Texans, look, you've got a soft schedule. Keep taking care of business. If they're going to keep putting teams in front of you that are beatable, by all means, beat them. Why can't you be the Kansas City Chiefs of last year who had the soft schedule from a 2-14 record, first pick in the draft, which all of those things apply to you this year? Why can't you be that team? Why can't you win 10 games, make it to the postseason? I still don't believe in Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I think that's the reason why you can't win 10 games and make it to the postseason. But, hey, if they keep putting these winnable games in front of you, why not? And you haven't even played Jacksonville yet. And now, hey, with Blake B at the helm, that's a different ball club, but still, you've got a lot of winnable games on your schedule. Just keep winning the ones that you're supposed to. You'll be just fine. In Houston, they're now 3-1 on the season. So that's going to do it for the Texans and the Bills in week number 4. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down week number 4 in the National Football League. See you in a bit.
Like the content? Want more? Sub up.